Baseball's pretty stupid sometimes. I'm not really... whatever. The first one was in 1903. That's a really long time ago. The National League was 1876, and that's Cincinnati Reds and all those guys. 1901, the American League comes about. The National League gets smaller, goes 12 teams to 8 teams. The American League is like, let's be a league. One of the weirdest things, if you like baseball now, is they didn't do home runs the same way. They liked you to be fast and run around the base. But if you hit it in the stands where the people were sitting, they didn't like that. They're like, this is our spot. We sit here. The ball stays in the field. That's where you play baseball. Don't hit it and don't. They put up ropes on the outside of the outfield so people could stand, and they decided that if the ball rolled on the rope, it was a triple. And there's a lot of triples. There was 17 ground rule triples. That's stupid. That's dumb. You gotta understand, baseball is pretty different back then. The main thing is, a baseball's hard and white and you can hit it and it goes crack on the bat and it goes real far. But in the old days, baseball was really mushy. It was squishy and brown and it looked gross. And if you hit it, gross liquids came out of it. They just stored it in dip spit and just pulled them out and to keep them fresh. They liked tobacco. They love tobacco. Smoking is not good for you, and chewing is not good for you.
Yeah, it's really gross that they're spitting on the ball and trying to get hit by it on purpose. That's I wouldn't be surprised if there was some poop on there. I wouldn't put it past these guys. Ugh. I guess it's called dead ball era because they're all dead now from just living off of tobacco and intentionally trying to get hit by this nasty poop ball and probably getting hepatitis.
Oh, maybe Oh, so we didn't get a World Series. That's pretty cool. That sucks. John McGraw, you're not my friend. I don't like you. I'm going to do everything in my power to stop you. I don't want you can't cancel the World Series ever again. And John McGraw leaves, and he goes to the National League where everybody's just doing whatever they want, I guess.
I want to resurrect John McGraw in 2025 and make him experience all the horrors of modern day. I want him to have to sit there and just watch vertical content, short form videos, and learn about Gooning and the ghost runner at second base.
But I won't really want to talk about him or root for him if John McGraw's going to be there. I don't even want to go if John McGraw's going to be there.
You're spiked in the shin by one of the Giants players, and you complain to the umpire who's already been punched by John McGraw, so he's probably on your side, and they send Chrissy Mathewson out to talk to you. And of course, he's putting his arm around your shoulder, and he's like, "Hey, pal, I think we had a little misunderstanding here. Let's talk this out." I'm pretty sure by the end of that, you're going to be confused, and you're going to be thinking, did I do something wrong? Was it me? Elite pitching, brutal violence, and gaslighting. Actually, his real name is Cornelius McGillicuddy. That's so cool. That is so sick. Why would you pretend your name wasn't Cornelius? Cornelius Mack. It's a pimp name. That's sick. I'm pretty fascinated by Connie Mack, although I'm a little bit scared of him. I don't think there's a lot of Draculas in baseball. I kind of feel like we're going to see these Philadelphia Athletics again, mainly because I don't think Connie Mack can die. Kind of feel like doing whatever Connie Mack tells me to do for some reason. The White Sox famously had a cheapskate owner named Charles Comiskey who wouldn't really spend any money on bats for them that season. So they chose not to bring the bats to the plate most of the time just to save on lumber. But in the last 2 games of the series, they made an interesting choice. They decided, why not bring the bat out there every time and swing at the ball more? Owner Charles Comiskey awarded the White Sox a $15,000 bonus for winning the series, but it turned out just to be advances on their salaries for 1907. What an absolute crook. Wow. I kind of feel like this was Chicago's big chance to shine in the World Series, and they kind of blew it by being gross and stupid and immature. I don't know if they're ever going to let us have another all-Chicago World Series because of this, because I think people expect something like this. Chicago Cubs back in the 1800s days were known as the Chicago Orphans. That's a stupid name. They're like the Chicago Little Kids Without Parents. Good thing they changed it to essentially the Baby Bears. I don't know what's up with them. I really think they need to move away from the baby theme. I don't think that's very intimidating. I don't know if they didn't have very good fonts back then or didn't know how to make cool mascots. I think they really need to work on that.
Boston Americans are the Red Sox. They get called Red Sox later. Maybe they didn't have socks, or maybe they didn't. Maybe it was in black and white. I don't know. They just were called the Boston Americans.
Tinker to Evers to Chance. That was a poem by Franklin Pierce Adams that first appeared in the newspapers in 1910 about how double plays make him sad. Silly journalist. Double plays don't happen in the newspaper office. They only happen in baseball. People just don't write poems about baseball like they used to. I wonder if it's because of the television or because they're stupid and not very good.
They didn't do one of their famous double plays. I mean, I guess that was written in 1910, so maybe I'm getting ahead of myself, but yeah, I think it's really cool. They refused to play the hits. They went out there and kind of played with integrity and did their thing and won a couple of World Series, I really respect that, the artistry there. It's kind of like Husker Du or the Minutemen or something, Game 5 of the 1908 series is the only World Series game so far where neither team made an error. Forget what I said about Tinker, Ever, and Chance. They just were probably throwing the ball over each other's heads and missing the ball with their tiny, stupid little glove just as much as all their friends were. My apologies for the mistake. I was very tired and read it wrong and didn't care very much.
But they did fielding errors. The most famous, best thing you could do in 1903 was make a lot of creative, fun fielding errors on the field trying to play defense with your glove. They had tiny gloves, and they had a big, stinky ball, and they made lots of fun, bad throws.
Let's just look at the newspaper headline. Yeah. Merkel, instead of touching second base, did that for some reason? Do I have to talk about this? Can I just tell them to ask their parents? Well, yeah, I did. I did check the box. Yeah, I checked the box that says my content's not for children. Damn it. Okay, so when a boy reaches a certain age, it's perfectly natural to have, I don't know what he's teaching his players. It seems really weird and inappropriate and kind of immature, but it happened. They shouldn't do that in the baseball field. Boner. There's another famous mistake named after the player Fred Snodgrass that I don't fully understand, and I'm also not going to get into right now, and hopefully don't have to get into. You're welcome. With the Cobb versus Wagner story sort of being framed as Unk versus nephew, the Pirates actually showed Unk-nephew unity. Cobb did a very high slide into the shin of Frank Baker, the beloved third baseman of the A's, so he was really not loved very much over there. Connie Mack did not like Ty Cobb. He called him a no-good ruffian and a back alley artist, whatever the second one means. I don't think he should have crossed Connie Mack. You don't want that man to wake up and come out of his coffin long enough to notice you. I just don't think that's a good idea. I'm pretty sure Connie Mack used some kind of arcane magic to make sure Ty Cobb would never play in the World Series again after the various stabbings that he did in Philadelphia, and that's probably good for all of us, honestly. High batting average is not everything in the world. You gotta have friends. What I know about Davy Jones, people say monkey's around, but really he was too busy swinging to put anybody down, so he did give Cobb a chance and got along with him. No matter how hard a time Cobb had with some of his other teammates, he could always rest assured that he could spend a little time at Davy Jones's famous locker and get a little respite from the abuse. But all the pictures I see of him, he's doing that. He's doing a cheerleader high step thing and doing his famous yell, call, war cry maybe. He goes, "Yeah!" at the players, maybe they're like horses or something. That seems kind of distracting to have that man in your third base coach's box as you're rounding the bases. Maybe it would be helpful if he was telling you where the play was at the time. I mean, what lessons can we learn from this exciting 7-game World Series? I think for the Pirates, it's that if the generations put aside their differences, unks and nephews can achieve greatness together. I think the main takeaway for the Tigers is don't stab people, and maybe manage your team. Don't just do little stupid dances and yell at them. Wow, lots of crazy names in this one. The Tigers I don't want to talk about the Tigers anymore. Basically, if you had a round face, little round, unshaven, smooth face, little chubby guy, they're going to probably call you Babe. If you're a big, strong, dumb country boy, they're going to call you Rube, for sure. Pretty insulting. If you have any Native American heritage at all, they're going to call you Chief. You don't have any choice in that. That's just how these guys behave. It's kind of a cool nickname, but it's still... if you're German, they call you Heine. There's a lot of war stuff coming up. They felt weird about Germans. If you're a ginger, you red hair guy, you're called Red. For instance, I might be called Red in the old time days. Okay. If your nickname is Whitey, it just means you were created in a lab by the evil big head scientist, Dr. Yakub. The only one I can't really decode is Lefty. I don't know why they're called that. Sometime in the 1960s and 70s, they outlawed cool nicknames, and everyone just became named Bob for like 20 or 30 years. The Bob era was pretty good. A lot of good Bobs. The Oakland Athletics owner, Charlie Finley, tried to revive nicknames in the 70s, but he tried way too hard and just called people like Catfish and like Blue Moon and Raleigh Fingers. Raleigh Fingers is a real name. Raleigh Fingers is a real name, sorry. Sounds like a nickname. And then the name Bob was outlawed in the 2000s. I don't think we've had a Bob since. The future of nicknames doesn't really look good to me. I mean, what do we got nowadays? Big Dumper? It's about his butt. His nickname's about his butt. Like, they wouldn't do that. Yeah, they're gross and deadball, but they would not do that. I mean, it's like Big Butt Johnson. There's just not a guy that does that. It's like, I'm Stolen Base Davis, like Catcher McGee, you know, Triples Johnson, like what's next? Like Home Run Baker or something stupid like that. Turkey Mike Donlin. I don't really know why he's called Turkey Mike. Maybe he likes turkey, eats turkey, looks like maybe he has, you know, like turkeys. Nick Altrock, maybe like he sounds like he's like a grunger, Pearl Jam, Alternative Nation, Kennedy flannel kind of guy. Do we have another picture of him? That's kind of oh, that one too. I don't think this guy's taking this very seriously. This is Take Your Chance, the hard-hitting Harry Seinfeld at third base, Frank Wildfire Schulte and right. Dude's called Wildfire. You know he's a pretty cool guy if he's a nickname like that, right? Two other guys named Jimmy who are really good outfield, Checker and Slagle. Catcher. Mordecai Brown's secret weapon was not having enough fingers on his pitching hand. It allowed him to throw a really devastating curveball. Ooh. Mordecai Brown, really good curveball. Nearly unhittable because yeah. Mordecai, Three-Finger Brown, Ed Rulbach, Jack Feister, and Orville Overall. I've been waiting all week to say that again. I love that name. I just love this guy. I wish all players had names that cool. Weird. We're just going to take this opportunity to say Van Lingle Mungo a few more times while we can.
I see Schreckengast. I see Schreckengast.
Dan McGann. No.
And they say it's Elmer Doubleday or some stuff.
It's not Baltimore I was just thinking about. It's not Cal Ripken. It's not Brooks Robinson, Frank Robinson, Eddie Murray, Jimmy McNulty. None of those guys.
You know, Cecil Fielder, Mickey Tettleton, Alan Trammell, Lou Whitaker, Travis Fryman, Mickey Tettleton, Jack Morris, you know? It's like Hans Wagner and Deacon Blues and Cy Young. 1968, the Tigers Cardinals, pretty good. No offense, pitchers, though. Once again, Terry Scooble, I'm sorry. I love you. You're my best friend. And I can't wait to hang out at your house again. Barney, I love you so much. Thank you for the World Series. It's a wonderful gift. I can't go an hour without thinking about the World Series. Barney is a weird name, too. Actually, I don't know if Barney Dreyfuss is one of the last living Barneys. I kind of thought that was a prehistoric name because the only Barneys I know are like dinosaurs and cavemen. But Barney Dreyfuss, beautiful man. Good job for the Pirates. Good job, Barney Dreyfuss. Good job, World Series. The World Series is for everyone. Like, let's say, 90 years from now, you know, it's not going to be a problem. I'd be so mad if I was going to watch the World Series and there was not one. I'd be so mad.
So when they did American League in 1911, when they did American League in 1900, 1901,
the 1903 World Series, the Pirates and the Americans, Boston play each other.
This isn't like baseball to me. This is nuts. What? And they're like, we're not gonna.
Listen, pal. This is what makes me expert in baseball right here. This big book that my granddad bought me. He fought in the dang war for this country. His favorite player was Ted Williams, and I'm pretty sure he would appreciate you comment Nazis saying stuff like that. Look how thick this is. How big is your baseball book, huh? And I think I look pretty good. So who's the idiot now, idiot?
I don't know what to say anymore because they didn't do it. They didn't do it.
Yeah.
Hello my baby, hello my darling, hello my ragtime gal type of style. You can't really let your teammate wear like a dumb hat. Just kind of speaks badly for the team. Like I kind of think Waddell was probably in the right on this. Just can't have your teammate wearing a stupid looking hat.
Well, no time for comment corner this week because we had to spend so much time talking about Merkel pulling on his stuff. I'm sorry, I may have been a little off on those. The team is working hard to fix it. We're looking into time travel so I can go back and make sure that that's what they did so that I can be right and I don't have to change my videos.
My dad's friend caught it, but he had to give it to me because I was a little kid at the time. You have to give the ball to a little kid. It's the rule. It's bad if you don't do that. It gets really bad.
My friend's dad works for baseball. He showed me the film reel.
My dad's friend works for baseball. My friend's dad, my dad's friend's dad. A network of dads, friends, and friends' dads that give me access to baseball knowledge beyond your wildest dreams.
The 1903 World Series was, it was stupid. It was dumb.
There was no World Series. Wow, that's a pretty good, fun... Wow, that's a pretty okay World Series.
Wow, this is a pretty gross and disgusting and immature World Series. Wow, that was probably a better World Series. Well, that was a crazy pennant race followed by a really boring, stupid World Series. Wow, that was a kind of exciting World Series. It was tension back and forth.
More offense, lots of hits, lots of runs, lots of action on the base path, lots of going real fast.
That was a lot of really not very fun World Series with a mushy, stupid ball, no home runs, stupid rules, managers either playing in the games or acting like lunatics, lots of violence and stabbing, lots of spitting. I almost puked in one of the episodes because the guy looked gross. Not trying to body shame, but those fingers... I don't like it. Watching this is gross and it seems kind of like a waste of my time and it makes me sick to my stomach. Like, why am I even doing this? The dead ball era, more crappy, slow baseball with no power. Well, just like and subscribe to my videos and stuff, man. Just do it. It's not hard. And what else are you gonna do? Just click on it. It's easy. And maybe subscribe for once in your lives.
I wish I was named Cornelius or Ossie Schreckengast.